Welcome to Loup TV. I'm your host, Gene Munster, along with Doug Clinton. Our A topic today is Airbnb, a story in the Wall Street Journal that their business has rebounded and they're getting ready to go public. Our B topic, Doug isn't ready for this, is to talk about his microphone. This is not a variety show. This is a
I've been
quick,
told it makes my voice sound great, so I stick with it.
you're sticking with it. If you're curious, I'm going to stick with my lapel mic here. It serves me just great, Doug. I hope you have that well secured to your desk because it looks like someone could get hurt if that loosens up and falls. Let's jump back to the A topic, the journal story, Airbnb, and also jump back in time to middle of February when the market started to unwind. The U.S. started to enter into lockdown mode. The NASDAQ was down about 30% over the next month. During that same period, the airlines were down about 65%. And Airbnb, even though it was a late stage private company, the shares were trading down. They did a deal with Silver Lake at 18 billion. The previous valuation going into this was 38 billion. So call it down just over 50%. So hit not as hard as the airlines, but definitely harder than the broader market. We talked a lot about Airbnb back in that time. And I'm curious, Doug, when you see the rebound in the numbers that the company's coming out, what do you think about?
It's probably, I thought you have to say it's a little surprising. I think in March, when we were talking about Airbnb, our expectation was they could be down 50, 60% in terms of revenue this year. And I think based on that Wall Street Journal article, it feels more like maybe we're down 25, 35%, something in that range, which all things considered is really not that bad.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's
Hard to
great.
believe.
And so I think the rebound is really incredible. It's unexpected. I do think it probably shows a little bit about how consumers have adapted to the new world of travel. Obviously, people are not flying as much still. I have not been on
Let
a
me
plane yet
jump in with
since
that
then.
number too, is
Yeah.
that air travel, the available seat miles is still down about 75% from where it was a year ago. So it's an understatement to say people aren't traveling by air.
They aren't, but I think they're traveling more by car, and that's really what it seems like Airbnb is seeing as well. The trips that are within 300 miles from home, and then staying at an Airbnb, which obviously then you don't have to deal with the crowded lobbies of hotels either. So I think that in some ways, as crazy as it might sound, Airbnb might be sort of the perfect travel play for the pandemic rebound as people think about travel in different ways.
So do you think it's more about the a proximity play, or is there some sort of a safety aspect that people feel Airbnb provides them versus a hotel?
I think it's some of both. I think the proximity thing is if you're only going to travel, let's say 200, 300 miles, you probably don't want to go and stay in a hotel because part of your experience is going to be the destination and where you stay.
Oh yeah,
And I
I
think
guess
that
yeah, road trip basically.
exactly. And I think, staying at an Airbnb certainly will give you a more unique experience than staying in a hotel room. So I do think they benefit from that. I think that they've done a great job too. We talked about this, I think, in March and April internally, but just the opportunities around branding for safety in this new world of travel. I think being safety forward and being really sort of on top of your messaging for your customers about how you take care of your places, about how Airbnb is sort of helping hosts figure out cleaning protocols that are effective. I think that's another big part of the safety story.
Uber and Lyft have tried to do that, haven't served their rebound as well. But both of those two companies also been promoting a lot around safety too. I would add another aspect that has likely had a positive impact. This sounds a little bit far-fetched, but I think it has had an impact on Airbnb's bookings. Is that you're seeing people being able to live in different places now. I think what remote work from home. A former colleague of mine just had mentioned that they got an Airbnb for 6 weeks in Florida. He described it as a once in a lifetime opportunity to do that. So he's racking up a lot of night stays. We hear about people who work at some of the big tech companies. A lot of the younger people have kind of gotten together and gone on road trips and are living in places like Salt Lake City, for example, just to experience the world. So I think that the work remote theme too has also impacted what's going on at Airbnb. I'm thrilled that they have bounced back. It's a great service. It's made our lives better as we've tried to always be judicious with our investor dollars, and that time stay at Airbnb. I'm glad to see the company's doing better. Stay tuned for their IPO, likely later this year. Expected to be around a $30 billion valuation. That again compares to kind of its peak private valuation of 38 and the more recent Silver Lake investment at 18 billion. That's it for Airbnb, and that's it for Doug and I for Loop TV. Bye for now.